Greetings and salutations everyone, this is No Code Gaming, and I'd like to welcome you back to another Master Duel video. And in this video we will be covering the deck I've been bringing to the Duelist Cup, as well as the new selection pack that has been released, Invincible Raid, and namely the singular card I am very much interested in from this pack. For once, it's not the waifu card, and it's not B-Trooper, though for B-Trooper I am interested in it as it has been seeing a good showing on meta tournaments, so might build a deck around B-Trooper sometime soon. That is besides the point. The card I'm most interested in is this, Guardian Chimera, and this is one beefy boy, 3300 attack and defense, and has very generic monsters for its fusion materials, as long as said monsters are from your hand or from your side of the field. But that's not all the card does. If this card is fusion summoned via a spell card or effect, you can draw a number of cards equal to the materials used from your hand, and you can destroy cards equal to the number of cards used as fusion material from the field.
That's just value right there, I think.
Lastly, it has some built-in protection where, as long as you have Polymerization in your graveyard, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So, what deck have I been using this card in mainly? Well, that's the deck I've been bringing to the Duelist Cup, and it is Despia. So, what changes does Guardian Chimera bring to Despia? Well, that's easy. It's a draw and destroy engine. Two things that Despia sort of have difficulty with. Well, what other changes does the deck have other than adding Guardian Chimera? Well, that's the DPE package itself. Looking at Master Duel meta, we see that DPE is still a mainstay. However, most Despia decks are now running 2 Malicious and a Denier as their fodder for Fusion Destiny. The reason why I believe we use Denier and Malicious over Eclipse and Dasher is we now have more fusion materials that we can get from graveyard easily to go into Guardian Chimera. Secondly, Denier allows us to recycle our DPE should it be banished or tributed. Other than that, the deck has very standard Despia staples. You don't have to run Despian Comedy. I run it for protection against targeted effects. Tragedy is here as our searcher for Aluber or Dramaturge. Maxx and Ash Blossom, standard hand traps. We have Denier, like I said, it's here to recycle DPE and as fodder for DPE and for Chimera. Edge Imp Chain is used in conjunction with Frightfur Patchwork and Polymerization, so that we're able to easily find Poly, as well as get a free material from Frightfur Patchwork. Aluber is our standard opener card. It allows us to search our deck for any Despia or branded spell or trap card. Malicious is here for our DP, as well as a way to get another body on the field should a Malicious be in your graveyard. Dramaturge is here as really good fusion material, as if it is used as fusion material, it is brought back, whether it be banished or sent to the GY. Additionally, it has the effect of if a fusion, synchro, XC, or link monster special summoned, you can target one monster on the field and negate its effects. This includes your special summons for those specific monster types. Libitum of Despia is here for getting back some of your fusion monsters from GY, and Nibiru is here to counteract some of the more combo-y decks. Harpy's Feather Duster is here as a way to counter floodgates. Polymerization, I said, is just here as standard, work in conjunction with Frightfur Patchwork, as well as a method of protection for our Guardian Chimera. Foolish Burial is here as a pseudo 4th Despian Tragedy, as you can use Foolish Burial to activate a tragedy straight from the deck. Frightfur Patchwork, it's a searcher. Fusion Destiny, if you've played any modicum of ranked past gold, or even including gold, you know that Fusion Destiny is normally used to summon Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. Despia Theater of the Branded. It allows you to fusion summon any level 8 or higher monster, of course using materials from your hand or field as needed. Additionally, if a non-fusion fairy is sent to the GY because of an opponent's card effect or destroyed by battle, you can special summon a fusion monster from your GY. Superpolymerization is here as a way to get rid of dark or light monsters on your opponent's side of the field. We have Called by the Grave. It's standard fare at this point. Called by the Grave is good in most matchups as it negates Ash or Maxx. Forbidden Droplet, it's a good card as it allows you to negate some of your opponent's more troublesome monsters. Branded Opening is here as a special summon straight from deck. Additionally, it protects your fusion monsters from card effect destruction. We have Branded in Red as another fusion spell, as it allows you to get a Despia monster from graveyard and instantly fusion summon a level 8 or higher monster if you so choose. The fusion summon is optional. And the last card, Infinite Impermanence. It's Infinite Impermanence. It's here as a monster negate and hand trap. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon is here to remove your opponent's dark monsters using Super Poly. Despian Quirtus is here for OTK potential, as well as its floating ability where you can search out a Despia monster and special summon it or add it to your hand. Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, of course it's Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. It's just here as non-targeting removal that can constantly be recurred. We have Masquerade the Blazing Dragon. It is here as punishment for decks that decide to combo off a lot. The 600 life points is a continuous effect and is not a triggered effect, so if you are playing against Despia, keep that in mind. You cannot counter Masquerade's 600 life point effect. However, you can counter its effect to bring itself back from the GY. We've already gone over Guardian Chimera. Despian Proskenion is just a big boy that allows you to banish or special summon your opponent's extra deck monsters from the graveyard. Additionally, when it destroys a opponent's monster by battle, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack or defense, whatever is higher. The first Dark Lord is here as a 4000 beat stick. It's also here to special summon fairy monsters at the cost of 1000 life points on a quick effect. Number 100, number 97, and number 92 are here as a OTK. If you don't know what that combo is, generally that combo is to use Despian Quirtus, use its effect to zero out your opponent's monster's attack, and having another level 8, normally is going to be Dramaturge of Despia, overlay them to summon number 97, activate number 97's effect, to summon Numeron Dragon using number 92 as material, activate Numeron Dragon's effect. You now have a 9000 beat stick attacking into a 0 attack monster. Relinquish Anima is here to punish your opponent that decides to put a monster in front of the extra monster zone. And Predaplant Verte Anaconda is here to search out Polymerization, Super Poly, and Fusion Destiny and activating it straight from your deck. That's the deck overview. A deck list is in the description below with the core cards marked with an asterisk. And without further ado, let's get on with the replays. And here we are with the first replay. So I Harpy's Feather Duster because I'm never sure what's face down. That could disrupt my plays. Activate Frightfur so I can get a Polymerization. But they Ash Blossom, so can't really get anything from that. So instead I Foolish Burial, targeting Dramaturge. The reason why is I now have Branded in Red, and I can go for the OTK. So Branded in Red returns Dramaturge, and I can Fusion Summon. I Fusion Summon into Masquerade. Masquerade will always be one of your best cards to Fusion Summon. Especially if you can't OTK your opponent, but I just need a generic level 8. The reason why is that's 2 level 8s. I can XC into Draglubion. I should have honestly stopped here and just attacked with Masquerade and Dramaturge. The reason why is, even though I am going for the OTK, I have an Effect Veiler. So I just Aluber and search for Despia. Pass the turn there. Because of Numeron's effect, I can't target... Or sorry, because of Draglubion's effect, I can't attack. I can only attack with the monster special summon from number 97's effect. And they play Water Enchantress, so I Maxi. Generally, I would suggest that you stop right there. If you Maxi, I know the deck I'm playing against can't take the Maxi challenge. They're playing Adventure. But they continue onwards, and it's Adventure Tenyi. Just let me keep drawing cards, I guess. I think they misclicked here. I believe they were trying to summon Wandering Griffin now and then attack. But they keep on going. They go into Monk of the Tenyi. However, I Masquerade. Activate Bushido's effect to bounce Masquerade, but now it's banished. So here we go. Go straight into attacks. I activate Blackout, but I now use Super Poly to go into Mudragon of the Swamp. So this is an earlier iteration of the deck where I run Mudragon instead of DPE. If you wish, you can run Mudragon instead of the first Dark Lord. DPE is really good in the deck, so I don't suggest replacing it. Mudragon's useful for decks that don't run dark monsters. It simply activates because that's what I used for Superpolymerization's cost. Attacking for 2,900. Frightfur Patchwork to set up for next turn. Mudragon calling Dark. The reason why, my opponent cannot target Darks now, so number 97 and Mudragon are protected from targeted destruction. But if my opponent had Raigeki, I would have nothing to do. Maxi in response to Fateful Adventure. They go about going the normal combo for Adventure. This is what I found odd. They're gonna keep going. I have a Nibiru in hand, so I'm safe. And here is another misplay by my opponent. They should have gone with the level 8 Sword Soul, not the Yang Zing, as both my monsters are not targetable, so they can't use Yang Zing's effect to bounce them. Instead, they have to bounce the 2 back row cards. Ash Blossom, so they can't do plays anymore. And at this point, I Nibiru because I see a monster and a tuner, and I don't want to deal with Halkify right now. And my opponent ends their turn there. and I can win from here. So Aluber, get branded in red. Branded in red activates, get Dramaturge. I don't fusion summon using branded in red. I fusion summon using Polymerization because Guardian Chimera has protection as long as Polymerization is in your graveyard. So here we go, Guardian Chimera. I used 1 card on the field and 2 cards in hand. So that means I get a destroy 1 and a draw 2. So destroy the Primal Being token. And I get a lot more than that. Dramaturge activates, that's another 3000 body, and my opponent just concedes from there. Guardian Chimera can swing things in your favor. It's a very good card. And here we are with the second replay. So, Dimension Shifter, this is likely Gren Maju, or no, it's Floowandereeze. Standard combo, normal summon Robina, normal summon Eglin, normal summon Empin. Empin activates, get a Floowandereeze and Wandering Town, and of course they bounce back Eglin and Robina from their banished zone. Like, the resource efficiency of Floowandereeze is insane. So they get Wandering Town. Oh, sorry, Dreaming Town. And they leave it there. It's weird that they didn't have Barrier Statue. But I Aluber, Ash Blossom. Dimension Shifter sort of doesn't hamper Despia as much, but it can put a damper on some cards. So they Dreaming Town here. Into Robina. Fetch Barrier Statue off Robina's effect. See, the play here would have been to summon Barrier Statue, but instead they go Eglin into Snowell, and I found that odd. Yeah, Snowell was a weird choice. Oh, by the way, my cards are still getting banished. This is only turn 2. So I Polymerization into Guardian Chimera. So that is a destroy 1, draw 2. Put it in defense, so Empin does not affect it. So the thing here is I destroyed their Snowell and used the Kaiju effect to get rid of Empin. I Super Poly to get Carving Venom Fusion Dragon and go about the longest OTK combo. So then Starring Venom Fusion Dragon, Dramaturge, and Polymerization. So activate Polymerization. Use Dramaturge and Starving Fusion. Go into Despian Quertus. Dramaturge, even if it's banished, will still be special summoned. I now have the 2 level 8s necessary. We are going into Draglubion. Draglubion activates. Get Numeron Dragon. And my opponent concedes. Yep. And that's it against Floowandereeze. And here we are with the third replay. So don't really have much. I'm just going to put down Called and Super Poly. And it's Eldlich. So I Maxi, so at least I can get a draw. I can't really do much here. I Frightfur Patchwork, and for once it's not Ash Blossomed. Yeah, get rid of their Eldlich. Branded opening, getting rid of Poly, get Dramaturge, Super Poly. And I now have Masquerade and Dramaturge. I chose not to OTK here because if any of these face downs are, yeah, that's also one of the reasons why. Couldn't really OTK here. So I'm left with a Masquerade. I was lucky that they don't have skill drain, so thank my stars there. And that's a Called by the Grave. Bye bye Eldlich. Masquerade activates again. It's just that constant tick of 600 damage. That's why we play Masquerade. Add in red to get a Dramaturge back. And I can fusion summon into yet another Masquerade. And battle, and my opponent concedes there. 2 Masquerades is backbreaking. Just remember that. And here we are with the 4th replay, and we have the cards necessary to go into 2 Masquerades. Starting with 2 Masquerades will break most combo decks, so here is the normal process of going into 2 Masquerades. So we Aluber, get a Theater of the Branded, activate Theater. If I didn't have Branded in red but Theater in hand, I would have gone Branded in red instead. Activate Branded, but they Ghost Ogre that, so I can't really do anything. Yeah. If Branded didn't go off, we would have just fusion summoned these 2. Aluber and Despian Tragedy. Go into Masquerade number 1. Defense position, of course, to protect against Lightning Storm. Despian Tragedy activates. We get Dramaturge. And Branded in red. Getting back Despian Tragedy. And we now go into our 2nd Masquerade. And Dramaturge, just cuz. Pass the turn there. So, here is an abject lesson in playing against Despia. Get rid of Masquerade. I haven't attacked yet. And here's another lesson when playing Despia. Ensure that you have Polymerization when you have Guardian Chimera. You don't want Guardian Chimera's effects to be negated. Like with Dramaturge. Because a fusion monster was special summoned, Dramaturge can negate Guardian Chimera's effect. And Guardian Chimera is they surrender. So that's a lesson in playing against Despia. Negate or get rid of their Masquerade as soon as possible before you combo off. Like, don't do anything else, just negate at least one of their Masquerades. If not, that's what happens. So, in conclusion, overall, I think the deck is much more powerful with Chimera now in its roster. However, if TCG/OCG is anything to go by, the deck becomes even more potent once branded support is released. We get things like Branded Fusion and Mirror Jade, and those cards are just ridiculous. Here's hoping not all the cards that I just mentioned are ultra rares, as I don't really have the materials necessary to craft them right now. So the weaknesses of the deck. Well, it's hard to get a opening hand sometimes. You really are Aluber or bust most of the time. If you don't have a follow-up for your Aluber, you're dead in the water. Secondly, the space in the deck is really tight for the version I'm playing. If you don't want to run DPE, you do have a lot more room to run removal/tech cards, but DPE is a really good card in Master Duel right now. I know some people are complaining that DPE is generically splashable, but it is a straight up good card that's hard to argue not running. It's sort of unwise to not run DPE in the deck. You can, but I advise against it since you're such a fusion heavy deck. Overall, I rate the deck as rogue tier right now. Looking at my record in the Duelist Cup, I have about a 50 to 55% win rate with the deck, but that's in the 15 Duelist level to like 17 Duelist level, so what I consider the average of players. Chimera really swung things in Despia's favor, providing much needed draw power and destruction, but the inconsistency of our opening hands really bring the power of the deck down. And that's it for the new Duelist Cup event, as well as Guardian Chimera's place in the Despia deck. And as always, like if you liked the video, subscribe if you so desire, and have a great rest of your day. Next up, I might try out B Troopers.